Oh, hey, you made it! Today we're going to be going on a journey through the body to get just a taste of the maladaptive processes that perpetuate chronic pain. And our journey begins right here, in the periphery. Now, most, but not all, causes of chronic pain start with some sort of ongoing or at least long-standing tissue injury or inflammation, like these inflamed joints behind me. Now, we could spend all day talking about arthritis and inflamed joints themselves, but we're going to do something different today. We're going to see if we can go over there and get a closer look at the nerves that are responsible for picking up those damage signals and sending them to the central nervous system. Come on, let's see. The peripheral nervous system is filled with all sorts of different nerve endings and receptors, and they can all detect different types of threats to tissue integrity. And in acute pain, this works great. But chronic pain can make these guys just a little bit hypersensitive. And over time, this will change them so that they fire at a lower threshold. And in fact, sometimes they'll even start firing from non-painful stimuli like simple touch. Well, I think it's best we let these critters be and move on. What do you say? To our next destination, the spinal cord. Welcome to the spinal cord, one of the most important stops on our journey to understanding chronic pain. It's like a superhighway that takes signals of pain and pleasure and everything else and filters it and organizes it on its way up to the brain. Let's look around. Oh, see that? That's our chronic pain signal from earlier. It's made its way here to this spinal level in the dorsal horn, where it's going to try to make its way up all the way to the brain unless other influences modulate it along the way. Let's go take a look. So here is our angry pain signal coming in, piping hot. You can almost warm your hands over it like a fire. And over here are interneurons. These are extra regulating nerve cells that are supposed to help dampen down excess pain signals, but they've been atrophied. It's been demonstrated that in chronic pain, regulatory interneurons can be lost, allowing the pain signals to move more freely through the cord. By the way, this is also the site where the famous mu opioid receptors do their work. On a positive note, one of the many benefits of exercise on chronic pain is the release of endogenous chemicals that can bind those opioid receptors and modulate pain. On the flip side, long-term use of opioid medications can eventually tire out the ability to modulate pain at this step. But wait, there's still hope. Pain dampening signals, referred to as the descending pain pathway, are raining down on us from structures like the periaqueductal gray in the brainstem. And it's thought that these signals can do a whole lot to reduce the nociceptive signals before they get to the brain and cause real distress. While we still have a ton to learn about these pathways, there's a lot of hope that if we can leverage them, we can manage chronic pain better. And there's evidence already for techniques as simple and accessible as Tai Chi and meditation, as well as high-tech ideas like deep brain stimulation of the periaqueductal gray. Well, with that, I think that's a great segue to see where all of these descending pathways originate from and what affects them, and for that we have to go to the brain itself. Here we go. We've reached the brain itself. At this point, that little nociceptive signal that could has branched out and been sent to all different brain regions to be processed and considered in all kinds of different ways. Here in the cortex, something interesting has happened where the literal neuronal territory dedicated to the anatomic region that's in pain is growing, like a country expanding its territories on a map. There are actually a lot of things in the neurophysiology of chronic pain that are a lot like the concept of kindling that we use when talking about seizures. The idea that neurons that fire together wire together. Similarly, there are all these positive feedback loops where pain and the worry about pain and how it's processed gets in this positive feedback loop, this cycle, and gets stronger and stronger unless we intervene. So where do we go from here? Well, the evidence suggests that once a nociceptive signal reaches the brain, how the individual will subjectively experience it is extremely intertwined with their affective and cognitive responses to pain. And this, in turn, means that it's going to be affected by everything from mood disorders, socioeconomic status, coping skills, support system, and a variety of other factors across the biopsychosocial spectrum. So it's as good of a reason as any to treat the whole patient, because we can use all the tools we can get if we're going to try to contain this wildfire that we call chronic pain. Well, I hope you learned a bunch today. Until next time,